see us. It's going to start in just a second. I should probably just actually write that.
Just type it to Max. He'll let us know when he can see and hear us. I get the thumbs up.
Kind of an important question. Kind of an important question for Max once he can see and hear us. Awesome. How are your pants, Max? Are you wearing them today?
Always with the pants.
It's Max. Clothes. It's me.
No, but it's an ongoing joke. Although, Seema, wasn't there an issue with your pants the other day?
Was there?
I'm trying to remember. I know one of the shows, somebody was... I thought you were healing or somebody was healing without pants on.
Oh, no. So. It wasn't me, but we do have a tradition of... Because of the way the costume system works, it's really easy.
Yeah, it's easy because you look at yourself and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm fully dressed out. And then you go look at your paper doll and you're like, I'm not wearing any armor. This is great.
Right.
I better go get that out of the mail. I'll be right back.
Marcus is asking Twitch, so should YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's the hang on, let me... It's the thing at the top. Hang on just a second. Let me grab it. Copy topic. There we go.
Oh, that works too, yes. And that works as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
I wanted to flesh out the Final Fantasy section, but I had a toddler all over me today.
How's he feeling?
Yeah, that was what I got from Dura, so.
Yeah, he's doing fine now. It's unfortunately still seems to be a little lactose intolerant, but the doctor says that comes and goes. So just something that happens to toddlers.
Yep. All right. Are we doing this thing, Tip?
Yep. Hang on, I'm just dropping some knowledge out in the other Discords. Do you want to get Frog Pants?
Yeah, I was just going to say we should probably do that too.
I'll retweet us.
Yep. All right, we are good.
Okay, moving to
there we go.
Place.
Notes go. There's the notes. It's hiding behind Discord.
We are good, and I think I'm leading off this thing, so
it's your show.
We're all ready. All right, here we go. Going live in 5, 4. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
prepare for your destiny.
7.3 has dropped, and so has everyone's jaws.
Final Fantasy 14, 4 years of fun.
Fun, by the way, it's still mandatory.
And we have Seema and Appelas here to talk Star Wars: The Old Republic.
All that and more coming up right now. AIE theme. All right. Welcome to episode 283 of the podcast celebrating the Alia Iacta Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi, and to my left and up is McCullough.
Hey guys, there are lemon bars and pineapple upside down cake in the Guild Kitchen.
I'm hungry now.
Right?
And to my right is Mew Cow.
Greetings, gamers.
This week we are joined by special guests Seema and Appelas, who are here to talk to us about AIE in SWTOR. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing?
We are doing excellent.
are doing great. Yeah.
Cool. Well, since Seema spoke up, Seema, what have you been doing in or out of game recently?
Well, the big thing for me this summer is everyone in AIE SOTOR knows this because I keep talking about it, but my dishwasher decided to go rogue in my kitchen, and so I've been having basically a new kitchen put in this summer, and it's drawing to a close. I'm getting to a point where I'm going to now be unpacking all my stuff back into the cabinets. But yesterday, here's my thing today. Yesterday, I remember a Toblerone bar that I had in one of my cabinets, and I know it's in my garage. It's in one of those boxes.
No.
And I'm like,
Oh,
I
no.
want it. Now's the time. Right before the podcast, I was like, I wonder if I could just go out there and open them all and find it, but no.
See, if it were Phoenix, that thing would be melted and dead by now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been dead when it actually reached the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having really cold weather here too, because it's all relative, right? So we went into down into the 40s, and I'm just like freezing.
So we
Yeah.
call that winter.
Yeah, right. This is September, but we'll still have an Indian summer.
You'll
I'm
have it
sure.
in the summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But in the
And speaking
winter,
of-
I mean, 44 would be like warming up.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. I was gonna say, and speaking of cold places, hi Apollos.
Yes.
Hey, it's not. This summer wasn't too hot here in Montreal, so a bit cold, but a few nice days of summer. And I've been doing a lot of SWTOR lately, and outside of SWTOR, well, some Path of Exile with patch 3.0 that is a lot of fun, a lot longer to level up than in Diablo, but much more flexible, but a bit more complex.
Cool.
Very cool. All right. And Mew, what have you been up to besides avoiding flooding?
Yeah, we managed to do a saving roll against a hurricane. It missed
Good.
us. Unfortunately, went to Houston and it kind of sat there for a while. I think it tried to move in and buy some real estate, but
That's
No.
expensive there.
yeah,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
we're all worried about that, and dealing
yeah.
with, of course, the ripple effects, like everyone in town panicking about gas.
I saw Jen's post.
Yeah, it's baffling that panic is what caused the panic. So
Right.
it's kind of funny, the supply is the same as it always has been. It's just everyone heard that there might be a shortage. So hey, let's go out and make a shortage. So
Yeah.
that's been fun. But other than that, gaming wise, and I'll discuss a little bit later in the news, but I did manage to get into the Destiny 2 beta.
Neat.
Got to experience that. That's looking very promising for the PC, that is. Kind of sad that it was, so quick, but it makes sense since there really wasn't that much content. So, they didn't want to give away everything yet, especially with things coming next week.
Right.
Other than that, 7.3, which I'm sure someone will get into detail in, and lots of Final Fantasy 14. Been spending a lot of time on that. I came across a 1.0 character in my list of servers and decided, I'm gonna just start over with this character and experiencing the main story all over again. Since we're 3 main stories into it by now, I want to do what happened way back then, because it's not quite like WoW. Since you have the one character that can be all the classes. Well, you once you go through the main story quest, that's it. So
Right.
So starting a whole new character is the only way to go back and do the old story again, which I give it a shot.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yep. And that's probably the bulk of what I've been up to. So how about you guys?
McCullough, what have you been up to?
I would like to say that when I left Southern California last week, it was not on fire.
She did not leave it on fire.
I did not. It was not that way when I was there.
Delayed release.
Right. Actually, I had a girls' weekend on the South Shore. No, what do you call it? The South Coast, the Redondo, Hermosa area.
Suncoast?
South
Not
Bay.
sure. South Bay.
South
Thank
Bay.
you.
South Bay.
Thank you.
Right.
I had a girls' weekend on the South Bay area with my best friend, which was wonderful. There was vintage shopping and food to be had, and went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was touristy as heck, but it was a really good time. Let's see. Relaxed right on the beach, which was not on fire. Went to a makeup shop, which was not on fire. Rushed home Monday night or Monday to be home in time to play Ravenloft, which may have been on fire.
Probably.
Played D&D Friday night, and that was definitely on fire.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. So you would think by the as my party so affectionately calls me, the chaos witch not stepping into the pool of truth, it would have made things fine. The second she walked into the room, it was fine. It was fine. The second she walked into the room, of course, demon portals opened and there was a demon horde invasion, and and that's how the game ended.
Of course. So basically, you have Legion in D&D now.
Yeah, that is pretty much what it feels like. But I have plane shift, and I'm getting us the heck out of there.
Good choice.
Yeah. And because I think dice have taken over my keyboard, so I haven't done any of the fun 3 or 7.3, but I still need to catch up there. And Tet will taunt me on that relentlessly. Tet, what have you been doing?
I will not taunt you on that. I know how busy you are. I have been doing 7.3 in WoW and 5.4 in SWTOR, both of which we're not going to spoil. We're not going to get into any story spoilers or stuff because there are people like Mew who haven't made it through the 5.4 stuff in Star Wars. If you want the 7.3 spoiled, feel free to listen to Azeroth Roundtable from yesterday, because I was just on there and we spoiled the heck out of it and had a really good discussion on the story plot and things going on. But mostly I've been focusing on, I got both characters. I have a light side 5 and a dark side 5 character, and I took them both through the 5.4 patch because I wanted to see how the story unfolded. Because on the on the dark side, when you are offered the choice at the end of Fallen Empire, you're basically given a choice of, do you want to rule with an iron fist or a benevolent hand? And of course, my dark side 5 went, iron fist, and my Republic trooper, who is light side 5 and is actually more light side than some of the Jedis I've got, said, benevolent hand. And the story or the reactions from the story unfold differently based on that choice, which I really enjoy seeing. So I'm very intrigued with where they're going with this story and how they're going to explain all this, but it's very good. And in World of Warcraft, the 7.3 Trip to Argus patch dropped on Tuesday, and I had got Tet through the main story Tuesday afternoon/evening, and then I've slowly been getting the rest of my alts through that. So I've got them at various stages of the patch, but it's a fun expansion. There's in there, especially if you like pet hunting, rare hunting, looking for treasures, looking for caves. Yeah, it's like Tanan Jungle, but definitely amped up, because it's more 3-dimensional than Tanan Jungle was. Tanan Jungle was very flat, where it operates in 3 dimensions. You go find a rare and you think you're like at the bottom level, that's where the rare should be. No, it's actually up on a bridge in a cave that you have to go up 2 levels to get to and then work your way down. So it's definitely fun. I have more fun on my tank classes, of course, because I can just
you're a tank.
Plow through stuff, whereas my fire mage has become a sniper, and I'm just like, okay, I think I see a path through there. Let me take out those 2 guys. Okay, yeah, I've got a path, blink, and then if I get noticed, invisibility, and keep running. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and any stealthers have been having an okay time too. Just kind of sneak through and get where you need to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my rogue having a field day because I'll just leave a path of sapped mobs through there, like, oh, pickpocket, pickpocket, pickpocket. The demons are like, what the heck's going on around
Right?
here? So yeah, it's awesome. But I think we need to get back to Star Wars after we dig into this week's news.
News.
AIE news.
Did you get No Man's Sky when it first came out, or recently picked it up during the Steam sale? Well, the Nomads are spending time in the game, and feel free to join the #Nomad channel on AIE Discord to discuss all the things.
All of them.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
And elsewhere in our Imperium Ludi area, Destiny 2 was an open beta this week for PC and a little bit earlier for console. So it's moving on to PC launch on October 24th with the console version starting up on September 6th. We do have a clan set up for folks wanting to jump in and play together, so make sure to follow the thread on the forums.
Awesome.
Yep. And briefly back in WoW, as we mentioned, patch 7.3 has launched and we are headed to Argus. For those that feel a little bit overwhelmed after reading the copious amount of patch notes, check out Bellular Gaming's handy tips for Argus. And he's got a nice YouTube video covering essential tips, tricks, and some of the undocumented changes. There are also the full patch notes in case you missed them up on worldofwarcraft.com. So, Mew, I think you and I know, Seema, you've ventured to Argus. What is your favorite thing so far on Argus that you found?
Well, I love the pet content in 7.3.
Shock.
And yeah, I've
I've
actually spent most of my WoW time this week going back to the old Cataclysm raids and searching for pets back there. So that's not exactly Argus, but I have to say my favorite part about Argus was the cinematics. They were
over the top.
yeah, and I really love every expression. It's weird to say, but every expression that crosses Illidan's face just seems so convincing and lifelike. I was in awe.
And Liam O'Brien's voice behind all that just makes it so.
Yeah, I definitely say the story is the highlight, and we're finally getting story. And the other thing I'm glad about is I now no longer have to do all the Illidan stuff from the previous patches. I can now just abandon that because, why bother?
Yes.
Because we're now getting even better story. So yay. Other than that, it's been kind of fun to run through it on my raid geared tunes, and the less geared tunes not so much. But it's been interesting seeing all the activity running around. Yeah,
we actually took a couple of our clothies and leather-wearing healers through in a group and basically helped them survive the initial encounter because it's just so many demons that you're just like, okay, we get it. There's a lot of demons. And once you get through that, then you can kind of pick and choose your way through there. But it's thing. My favorite thing so far has just been exploring and finding all the little hidden nooks and crannies. There's one where you land in Kolkrol and you go into a cave and there's like a whole MASH unit set up of cots and people recovering and things like that. So just stumbling over those little hidden caves and other things and like, oh, what's in here? Oh, there's a rare I didn't know existed. All right, that's cool.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I learned that you can't really hang out in lava.
No. This lava
Anakin
hurts
could have told you
badly.
that. Anakin could have told you that, Seema.
Well played.
Sorry.
Even if you have the high ground, lava bad.
Oh.
It's a good segue into the next item.
Right? So, in a SOTOR Escape Podcast 208, 5.4 is live. The lovely AIE Seema, the wonderful Max the Gray, and Astromech EPC 208 give a non-spoiler first view of the 5.4 update. And in SOTOR Escape Podcast 209, all up in the Imbara. This week, AACMA, Max the Gray, and Astromech 209 do a live playthrough of the Imbara Flashpoint and talk through their impressions and a couple of tips and tricks. I know we'll be getting to a little more of that later. And this, of course, can all be found on iTunes and at the new overlord.com SOTOR Escape podcast feed.
Yeah, good stuff. And then over in Final Fantasy XIV news, it's now officially the 4th anniversary of the game. There was a 14-hour live stream celebrating it, where all kinds of hilarity ensued, including the CEOs of 2 powerful companies getting rather drunk, apparently. And, yeah, having some fun. You do some fun things after 14 hours straight on stream.
I think you just get kind of slap happy naturally at that point.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny that near the end of this stream, they were, apparently very well toasted and said, hey, that one of these CEOs happened to be the CEO for the company that runs Yokai Watch. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? They said, that Yokai Watch event we had? We should bring that back. Okay, done. So,
neat.
Yeah, fun things that happen in streams. But for the big thing they talked about otherwise was a patch 4.1, which should be coming in early October, which will include the new housing update, which is what most of the guild is currently eagerly awaiting so that we can finally move into Kugane into a larger house. Also, around the same time, the Rising event is running until September 14th. The Rising event is essentially the in-game way that the producers are celebrating and thanking players for playing the game for as long as they have. And initially, the Rising was basically them thanking the players for, coming back when they decided to, destroy the game and rebuild it and bring back 2.0. So pretty much every year they come back and thank everyone very profusely for, believing in them and letting them continue. This year's event was this really fun old school 8-bit style dungeon that, interestingly enough, is actually randomly generated. It was kind of has a neat little top-down map, but it has like a very Doom style FPS, turning the even simpler than Doom, but like that, very almost 3D, but not quite set up. So it was kind of cool to run around and look at all the little messages in there. Once you ran through the whole maze, there was a word puzzle at the end, and it usually spelled something fun. But that was a fun little diversion, their way of thanking us. Also, they had an anniversary sale in Stellar on the Mog store, 30% off everything that isn't brand new. Because they also brought in a couple of wanted items. Ida from the Palace of the Dead had a rather unique dress, and now it's available on the Mog store. So that is now everywhere. The dresses are everywhere. It's just exploded. It's kind of funny. And of course, some scythe weapons. So bring a little flavor to things. As I mentioned earlier, the Yokai Watch event is live as of early this morning. You can, it's pretty much the same event as it was before. It's just not everyone got to finish it, so everyone's happy to see it again. You can collect 13 new minions. They're, new with this event, not this year's version. Also, themed weapons for everyone except for Samurai and Red Mage. They're just too new. They didn't have a chance to create anything for them. Also, there's 2 mounts available with this. One if you get all 13 minions, and one if you get all 13 weapons. So that's something to grind towards. And I know last night, the second the message popped up saying the event's now live, we saw what we call fates, the live events that happen in the game, just suddenly started disappearing because people were hitting them. That's how you grind the currency. So we were like, normally these fates sit there for, they sit there for the whole duration and no one will even bother with them. Now they're gone. Like you see them and you just see 0, 10, 20, 100%. It's like, it's crazy just how crazy people are jumping into those. But other than that, this event does last until November 1st. So you've got a lot of time to get on it. But, that time will come before you know it. So get on it.
Awesome.
Max is asking what level you have to be to try and get the mount in Final Fantasy.
I want to say 30. Sometimes it's 15. Like the Rising event was 15, but most of the ones where they have you fight stuff, you need to be minimum level 30.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool. All right. And speaking of mandatory fun nights, in Guild Wars 2, their mandatory fun nights are on Monday nights because the AIE team wants to run dungeons and fractals. So if you have Guild Wars 2, please log in on Mondays and help them get those groups formed.
Awesome.
With that, let's get back to Seema and Apples and find out what is going on with AIE in SWTOR.
Hey guys, what's going on with AIE and SWTOR?
It's funny you should ask. We actually have a lot of stuff going on in game right now. A week and a half ago, we got a big you called it patch 5.4. It was a big content patch for us. It contained the two highlights were a new flashpoint and a new stronghold. So the flashpoint itself is called Crisis on Umbara, and Umbara is a planet that's new to the game, but it had already previously appeared in the Star Wars universe in the Clone Wars series, which if you were a fan of that, you might remember it.
What
And
season? Do we know what season it's in? I'm trying to remember if we've gotten there yet. Our daughter and I are watching it, so
it's 4 episodes in, I think, in season 3.
okay, we have not gotten there yet.
Okay, it's often called the Shadow World because the rays of their sun do not penetrate to the ground, so it's always kind of gloomy and it's in this perpetual, dusk.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own technology, and because of their inhospitable planet, they have lots of new creatures for us to, pew pew.
Like you do.
Yes. Feel free to jump in anytime, Apples. I don't want to take all the. Okay.
No. And we have a new flashpoint that is on a train. And if you see my screen right now, I'm actually riding the train. That is the stronghold from the.
It's like a hover train.
Exactly.
And you can fall off it, so be careful.
Yes, exactly. You can fall. Unfortunately, you die right away, but it's no problem. This is Max's a stronghold because you have to obtain 60 tokens. Yeah, Max has a.
It's a train of chairs.
Passenger train.
Yeah, that's right. It's a passenger train.
I like what he did with the lights on the side.
Yeah, I like the symbols or the shop signs up there.
And speaking of the devil, cool. There he is.
Yay, Max!
In case you don't know what you do, there is an advantage to if you put enough items into your stronghold to get to it 100%. All the hooks. You get it. I'm struggling with terminology, but you get it to 100%, and there's an advantage. That's why there's going to be a room or two in every stronghold that's just full of pictures and chairs and stuff.
Neat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I like the design you did with the chairs. That's offset blocks of chairs and like an X there.
Yeah. Definitely, it's a room that's ready for a meeting.
Exactly.
Or a lecture.
Here is what I call the arena. As you can see, Garge behind, and that's there's Garge from Eternity Vault, and I think is that the guy from Karagus Palace?
It's the guy from Dread Fortress.
Dread Fortress, okay.
The one with the magnet. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Get his name.
Grubtalk.
Oh my gosh! Yes, thank you, Grubtalk.
Yeah, it's not the guy where Seema loves to blow me away when she.
Yes, I too. Yeah, Apples is referring to a fight where if you get this bomb debuff and go over to somebody, you blow them up, and so of course
Oh, and
If
you put the
Atlas
disco
is a
floors
group, what
on.
else would you do but go and try and blow them up?
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have the disco floors in the train as well.
Yes, and this is my favorite decoration because
Looks
as
like,
you can see, I
Simon
can
Says.
click on it.
Simon.
And if you click on it, you start to dance for 1 minute.
Oh my
Any
goodness.
dance, anything.
And you've got the bar.
If
as
you
well.
want to.
Yep. And also there's if you're more of a singer, you can croon and
Yes, there's
disco balls comes down and everything. And so yeah, I like the dynamic in this stronghold.
during the event where that dance floor and the mics were available. I bought 4 dance floors and 4 mics, so I'll be putting
Nice.
those down in my train as well.
Exactly. Now you have to, with the new stronghold, you have to deactivate one of your other ones, right? If you have all of them?
Yes. Yes. And what Tess is referring to is you can have 6 strongholds, but not 7, and there's 7 available now. So if you want the new one, you need to pick one of your old ones to deactivate.
Yeah.
I
And
still haven't
it's
filled out Narshada, so I don't know that I would do a 7, let alone 6.
Yeah, I don't have 7, so I didn't run into that problem.
which one didn't you buy? Because you bought Manon, right?
I bought Manon, but I never bought Yavin 4.
Oh, that's the pretty one. I like Yavin 4.
It is very pretty. Yeah. I will go back there. But you know what? I really like my Dromaka's little metro apartment. It's really nice.
Yeah, I think that's the one I have the most populated is the Drummond Cost one.
Yeah, and I only have the 3 first stronghold and didn't fill all them up. But my Narshada is my favorite one. And I think Max is going to use the... Hey, Max, stop. He's trying to shoot me. So we're going to have a countdown for Max. And up there...
1 second, I'm starting it. I'll add it to it now.
Yep. And upstairs, you can see on the top here our good friend Tite, the first boss from the new ops on Iocat.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you defeat the new raid bosses, they just hang out in your strongholds now?
Yeah,
Pretty
Is
much.
that how it works? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
And
Jimmy, you don't
where
get the
is-
sisters, do you? His aunts?
His aunts, yeah.
Yeah, I think can you get? Yes, I think we can get the sisters too. No, what deco did we get from them?
What typically happens if there's a decoration available, it drops during the fight, and then one person gets it. So it's like loot.
My, that's a big missile you got there.
Right?
Yes.
I have to say, I really like this stronghold. It's room after room in a line, obviously, because it's a train.
Mhm.
But I don't know, something about it just appeals to me. It's rectangular. It's regular. There is a point where you, if you buy, there's 2 expansions available to make it, so you can make it all the way to the front of the train. If you buy those 2, then there's a speeder, and you can actually hop on the speeder, and it will take you up to the front of the train, and you kind of fly along next to the train and kind of cross over it and land inside the front car. And
there it is.
Yep, there it is.
There we go, and you see that's the dynamic I like about it. The only thing is that you see all the way over there. Well, we don't see it anymore, but there's a city at the end over there
That you never seem to get to.
That's
yes, we never get either. It's really far, or something's wrong with that city, but we never seem to get to it.
Well, it's because the entire section of that planet is basically a planetary treadmill, so you're just seeing the same bit
Oh,
of
hey,
planet
there we go.
rolling around.
Oh,
I
That's what
think you may be onto something there.
yeah.
You
Some
make
major
some
tech.
point.
Okay, back to dancing.
So the flashpoint is actually the same setting as this stronghold. So when you go in the flashpoint, it looks all the same. Of course, it's populated with things trying to kill you. And it also has traps that can electrify you and turrets that can pop up and shoot you. And then that train, the one in the flashpoint, there is stuff that happens there, spoilery stuff to the story. But you do end up out on the planet's surface during the Flashpoint too, so you get to kill some of the new and exciting creatures and see the sort of gloomy atmosphere of the place and kill some bosses out there too. So I actually am very familiar with that Flashpoint now because I ran it 10 times.
Oh, you did the solo?
Yep, I did the solo 10 times, and you do need to run it a certain number of times before you can buy the stronghold. So
yeah,
I was motivated.
And you can only get 50 of the tokens per week, so you need 60 to unlock it. So you don't have to do all 10 the same week.
That's right. That's right. There's
just do at least 10 points worth.
Yeah. There's no deadline. I mean, it's not going away or anything, but yeah, I had an internal deadline.
Exactly.
And I've been also doing a lot of dailies, because a certain set of dailies are giving a ton of command XP right now. And when does it stop? Does it stop on Tuesday?
Yes. I think it'll stop on Tuesday. It's basically something that they wanted to fix and they tried to fix. It's giving the wrong amount of CXP, and they were unable to fix it for the last patch. So I expect it to be in this patch, but who knows?
Yeah, it's supposed to give usually 100 CXP, but now it's giving away more like 1,000, 1,200, something like that.
Wow.
BioWare basically said on the forums, we know this is an issue. However, have fun until we get it fixed.
Yeah, they said it's not an exploit. Yeah, exactly. You can run it, just know it's going away.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Exactly.
Yeah. Consider it a CXP weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got my bounty hunter to command level 300 this weekend, and working on other ones and getting them some gear. So that's pretty nice. And I've been also experimenting with doing dailies with a healer to see how it would go with a companion as a tank. And well, the companion that I have as a tank doesn't get it at all. So I'm not doing much as a healer. So she's pretty solid. It's it's one of the new PCs that came in lately. Master Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Jedi. Yeah, and she's pretty solid.
Yeah. I will say that running the Flashpoint was really different on running it on my Trooper as a tank versus running it on my Lightning Sork. The Lightning Sork, I ran with Lana as my companion, and so Lana would just go charging in, and then she'd realize, oh, somebody hit him here, throw a heal backwards, and then keep going on. And meanwhile, I'm just standing back going, chain lightning, right. And like blowing things up, like, oh, there's something over there, blow it up. Okay, we're good. Whereas with my tank, not that he was going to die, but it was very much more methodical of, right, I got to
you have to run around more. And like, oh, exactly. I got to go over there to that one that's behind the, yeah.
I can't just hit him across the room with lightning bolt and make him, die. So,
I was going to say dance.
Well, that too.
Right.
But I still need to take both my marks, my Merc and my Bounty Hunter through, so that'll be interesting to see. When you ran it, Seema, when you ran it, did you run healing it or did you run as DPS?
I run in my healing spec, but I do mostly DPS. It's a very inefficient system, what I do.
But you did it 10 times and you got it, right? So.
I could change my spec so that I was a DPS, but I don't. I would have to move buttons and, effort. So yeah. I do have some attacks and I use them, and I put my companion on DPS, and so we just kind of blow through together.
Yeah, I that's one thing I wish Star Wars would kind of borrow from WoW. Is WoW basically said, yeah, there's no dual spec anymore. It's just what spec do you want to play? Okay, just switch your specialization, and then all your talents and everything automatically change on your bars and all that. I know you can do that in Star Wars, but it seems it's a little bit more effort to do it.
Yes. Right. And I disapprove of effort. I want it all.
On the easy button.
Yeah,
I mean, it can cause you effort. I'm okay with that, but for me, I just
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're like, okay, now I switch back to healer. Did I get everything back on my healing bars?
I know. And
It's
you
the
don't
big
find
thing.
out until you go to do something and it's like, why is that not happening? Oh, the button's empty.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing muscle memory, and it's like there's nothing there. I forgot to put that skill back there. Darn it!
Right. And I don't have, this. It's almost the same gear, but not quite. Because if you're, theoretically, you would want different stats if you're DPSing, because, for hit chance and all that. But yeah, I ran some Flashpoint with a regular group, with tank, healer, and 2 DPS, because Flashpoints in SWTOR are 4 people.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is so relaxing. I don't have to DPS and heal and keep my companion up. I can just heal.
Right, exactly. You're just like, it's heal. Oh, heal.
Oh, look, the tank died, but I'm still relaxed.
Exactly. Oh, the tank died. Why'd he die? Well, he got blown off the platform. He wasn't positioned right now. Sorry, can't do anything about it.
Right.
Maybe I
Oops,
was a little
I got a
relaxed.
grenade. I'm gonna run to Apollos and make him explode. Boom.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the mini game within the raid game. Awesome. So that's the new Flashpoint and everything. What has the guild been up to in game with the new patch?
So in general, I just want to say that in the guild on SWTOR, we have raid teams now that are running pretty much most nights of the week. And if you wanted to start to get back into SWTOR or return to SWTOR and do some raiding, it's worth it to check it out and see if there's fill-ins that are needed, or even join a team. I would recommend it. In fact, we have a new raid team running on Sunday nights, so that's awesome.
Is that the
And
one
then-
Marcus is leading? Or?
Yep. Exactly. And then, as you guys know, on Tuesday nights is when we have our mandatory fun night. Attendance is not mandatory, et cetera, et cetera.
The fun is.
It's open to everyone as long as you are at least level 50, because sometimes we can take all levels. It depends on what activity we're doing. But if we're going to do an ops, the lowest we can take with us is level 50, because lower than that, you just can't get in.
Yeah.
In SWTOR, the ops have a bolster feature, and so you don't have to worry about gear at all. Just come. You'll be fine.
Right.
You might die, but like I said, like Max says, we're okay with that.
Exactly. You might die. We're okay with that.
Let's see. Oh, and I just mentioned too, in case you don't already know, we do have guilds on both sides. So you can be Imperial or you can be Republic. We like them both.
Yeah, we'll do like 2 weeks of MFN on Imperial, then 1 weekend on pub side.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a guild invite, just pop into our channel and Discord, and chances are you'll be able to find one of us, and we're always happy to pop in game and do an invite if we're not there already.
Max does want to remind everybody, some of you may die, but that is the risk he is willing to take.
And also, I'd just like to talk about the new feature in SWTOR.
Okay.
Is that now you have item level just like in WoW.
Oh,
and
right.
if you hover over your character or somebody else's character, like, I got Max here. I can see that his item rating is 247. So he's not naked.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
good.
So he could go and tank or DPS in an ops, no problem.
Yes,
Yeah.
if we mouse over him and his gear level is 122, then we're like, Max, go get your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping you were going to bring this up, because I was actually a little miffed at this. Not that I run ops and everything, but I've been keeping up with the story content and, getting gear and stuff like that. And I thought I was relatively decently geared, and I logged in my tank, and it's like item level 222. I'm like, really? Really? 222? Come on. Like, I was doing better than this, so I switched over to the Sork, and he was like 226. I'm like, well, that's a little better, but I went and looked at the gear, and most of the greens that drop, even in the new Flashpoint, are 210. Occasionally, you get a blue that's a 220, but above that, you need to be getting the orange gear that you can socket and put the stuff into. or get really lucky with the command XP stuff. But that's where I fall behind is I'm like command XP 22 on one of them and 18 on the other, because I just don't run the content to do it. And so that's when I jump back in, that's what I got to start doing is doing that.
Well, luckily you can get basically command XP for almost any type of play that you want to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I was actually disappointed. I kind of hung my head and went, really? 220? Okay, sorry.
Well, I mean, that's how I feel in WoW. I'd be like, oh my gosh, my gear level is so high. I get this new piece, and oh my gosh, 2 legendaries, and blah blah blah. And then I'll hear people say, oh yeah, I'll bring my low gear. It's only like 930. I'm like, oh gosh.
No, those are heroic level raiders talking. If they're at 930, in fact, those are my mythic level raiders, because I'm a normal raider in WoW, and even with all the upgrades and stuff, my highest character's at 917. I think Mew, you've got somebody at 920?
At least, probably 924, 929, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So don't feel bad, Seema. You're fine.
But I do have a lot of pets.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Your pet eye level is very high.
Yes, my pet eye level.
High level.
Yes.
Pie level.
Pie level.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. And yes, for anyone that when you're in game, if you want to check and see if anyone's available, just do a /C join for channel join, AIE LFO, and see if anyone's around. If not, poke them in Discord, and generally we can find an officer that's available.
Yep. Discord is where the party is.
Yes.
I thought that was Max's stronghold.
That's how you get to Max's stronghold.
Got it. All right.
You got to get an invite to the guild first, and then you can go to Max's stronghold.
Got it. All right.
He has I understand that Max has a bar car, so
Ooh.
Yeah, he does have it off to the right as we're facing him right now. If you go off to his right, there is a bar. See, there's the bar over there.
I'll take some Carillion whiskey, please.
There you go. See, he's got it right there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And if you click on it, because it's interactive, there we go. You have a drink.
I bought several of those too.
Exactly.
Dancing and drinking. That's
Dancing
what
and
we're all
drinking.
about.
That's the way to go.
So, Seema, not that we're going to get into spoilers of the story, but how do you like how the story is progressing so far from where? Because all we knew on IOCAF was we were hunting down a traitor, and now where this is going. I mean,
so I play a light side character, which means when I have to make decisions, I tend to make the decision that's going to save somebody, or at least let them live, or whatever. Right. And as I was progressing through this part of the story, I was getting more and more upset, like a tear. And then I got to the very, very end, and then I went, oh.
Yeah. You guys are going to discuss the story next week on the podcast, right?
We are going to, yes. I'm not exactly sure which day it'll be, but it'll come soon.
Okay. Cool. I cannot wait for that, because I have theories. I DM'd Max some theories about what's going on, but I can't wait for the next chapter in this story.
Yes, I agree. I hope it comes soon.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm wondering.
Max said next week or the week after. So
yeah,
you'll just have to tune in and see what's going on.
Yes.
Yep.
We'll
Max wants to talk about the stronghold next week. Okay.
Do a deep dive. He just wants to drink in his bar and dance.
Well, I think he's trying to give everyone enough time, like you said at the beginning. I think he's trying to give everyone enough time to get through the story and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll play.
Yeah, set aside an hour. It's actually not that hard, or not that involved to go through it. But it's especially once you get into the flashpoint, it's fun.
Yep, it'll just take a few hours for it to finish reorganizing data.
And if all else fails, blame Arv.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. So I think with that, was there anything else you folks wanted to mention, either about the patch or about AIE in game or anything like that?
Well, my next step that I'm gonna do is I'm actually switching my crafting skills, but I'm gonna put some attention into decorating my stronghold, which is the first. All my
Ooh.
strongholds look like, an episode of Hoarders.
Right.
But
Garage
yeah,
right now.
I'm inspired by this one. I don't know why. Like, I didn't get inspired by Manon, and I didn't get inspired by Yavin 4, but I like this one.
Very cool. What about you, Apollos?
Well, I want to finish the story also on the pub side, especially with my trooper, because I did not finish the previous chapter yet with him, and I want to see how the interaction is gonna go. If you have seen what's going on, you might understand why I want to do it with the trooper.
Yeah.
And also, I want to level up all the other characters through commanding speed, things like that. And I was a bit away playing less of the game these last few months, but these last few weeks, I've been focusing more on SWTOR, and still having a lot of fun. I cannot wait for Bounty Hunter Week to come back so I can go do some contracts and have fun with that. There's always a nice, some nice things to do all the time.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, with that, folks, I think that is our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles and Arv may start the storyline, we want to thank Simon and Atlas for joining us.
Hold my breath.
So thank you guys for joining us. Do have a couple notes here. Just come into the Star Wars channel on Discord and say hello. They are there. You can generally check every morning, and Apollos will greet you with a good morning. It's a thing.
Yes, I will do that. I will be there.
And Star Wars Escape Podcast records live Thursday evenings around 11:30 Eastern on twitch.tv/New Overlords. And you can sometimes find Seema on Twitter at AIE Seema. And you can also find Apollos on, it's been in
MTL for Montreal.
That's right. I was trying to remember. I was going to say TOR, but I was like, no, not Toronto, Montreal. Okay.
No, Toronto.
No offense.
For non-Canadian, that's just across the street from me.
Yep.
Yeah. Wink, nudge. Yes.
All right. And if you have questions or comments for the show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at the AIE Podcast. And we always do a tweet when we're about to go live, by the way. Mew is at the Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwaif. And Tetsumi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at the website, aie-guild.org, and our Discord server for the chat, which is bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. We also, by the way, use that for our chat room during the show. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
Now is normally the time we play great AIE member segments. We haven't gotten any this week. The email box is empty, but
Slacker.
remember, well, you know.
Oh, Hunt has been busy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Busy.
Yeah, Hunts was tracking the hurricane. Mew was
Yeah.
living through the hurricane.
Yeah. So hurricanes all around for everyone.
So,
Yep.
But if you'd like to submit a segment of your own, our email is podcast@aie-guild.org.
and next time we will be finally talking to Hoots in AIEU for Eve. So
In
until
theory.
then, AIE, in theory. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsumi.
This is Makala.
Well, this is Mewcow.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! All right.
Yay.
Just in time for Game of... Oh.
No. Just in time for me to run downstairs long enough to make myself food so I can do another podcast.
Perfect.
What's your other
Right.
podcast, Makala?
We are doing so my gaming group, my D&D group, we stream live usually. So we're actually doing a Geek Talk Ask the Gamer segment. Like
Nice.
Is that
Yeah.
Geeks and Geeklets?
so the Geek and Geeklets. So yeah, we're doing Geek Talk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let them know that I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I need food.
So, yeah, go ahead and drop off the call. I'll get the rest of the stuff
Thanks, love.
wrangled. So you're all
Yeah,
good.
and I'll let you deal with food for you and the kiddo.
Yep.
And you two still need to pick titles. We have one so far.
we have Max's title. All aboard the SWOTOR party train.
Yeah. So everyone has a chance this time around. It doesn't look like Sybil's with us tonight. So
no, hopefully she's doing well. Yeah. Well, I think unless Arv's going to come up with one, she's still paying attention. No, I think.
No.
Well, I think.
Seema is writing something.
Dance for
That's
pants.
for pants.
Pants for pants.
It is
I
your
like
choice.
that. I like Max's.
Yeah, Max also did
Yeah.
one
Party
during.
train. It's more descriptive. Mine is more of a
grab that.
clickbait one.
All right. Well, thank you two for joining us. This was awesome, and like I said, I cannot wait until
It's my pleasure.
we can get into
Always fun.
story spoilers.
Yes.
Yes.
Seema, did you or Apple's take like a Republic character and go dark side, or a Imperial character and go light
I
side?
tried.
My imp is light side.
Mhm.
My bounty hunter is light side. I've got a imp that is dark side, but I did not progress too much in the storyline. On the pub side, I don't have anybody that is doing dark side yet, so I might have to do it.
I was just curious because I did Republic light side, Imperial dark side, but you get that choice on IOCath about which side you're going to align with, and I was just curious if there was any slight, any difference, like an Imperial going light side or the Republic going. Because the thing is, the Imperial going light side, I really can't see, but the Republic siding with the Imperial side on that choice almost makes complete sense to me, because she's the one that helped. The
Right.
Republic just kind of effed off and
Right.
said, screw you, we're going about this on our own. So I was just wondering if there was a difference in the story from that point.
Well, but you're confusing dark and light and Imperial and Republic, because that choice on IOCath isn't a dark and light choice.
Correct. You're right. It is a.
Faction.
That's what I meant. Sorry. Yes. No, you're correct. That's what I meant. Is
Yeah.
and Max pointed out as well. Yeah, it's Republic choosing to side with the Imperial and Imperial choosing to side with the Republic.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, when I said I've tried to do dark side characters several times,
Mhm.
but when they ask you, do you want to save the kitten or kill the kitten,
Right.
it's just really hard for me to, and I totally get it that you want to rule like a dictator. Do you want to do the other thing? I totally get picking the other thing. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, no, I understood. And that's why I have, the different characters, because
It makes
I did want to explore that. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, chat room. I'm going to go ahead and Arv finally learned to post in the right channel. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the broadcast now, because we need dinner.